In the year 1 billion, the Earth will most likely be gone. The sun, having grown brighter with age, will have evaporated our oceans, sterilized the surface, and rendered the planet inhospitable to life as we know it. But in fiction, we're still here. Today, we're going to explore how authors, artists, and speculative thinkers have imagined humanity's far future, 1 billion years into the distance, and what these stories reveal about the way we think about time, identity, and our place in the universe. Before we dive into storytelling, it helps to know what real science says about the distant future. Currently, astrophysicists estimate in about 1 billion years, the sun's increasing brightness will have caused a runaway greenhouse effect. Earth's surface temperatures will soar, water will evaporate, and the atmosphere may break down. Most complex life, including humans, won't survive in any natural form. In 1.5 to 2 billion years, even microbial life could cease to exist on Earth, and long before that, Earth's magnetic field might decay, leaving the surface exposed to solar radiation. So if anything resembling us wants to survive its future, we'd need to leave. Science fiction often skips this past or imagines we've long since mastered interstellar travel, mind uploading, or even terraforming dead planets. The harshness of deep time becomes a narrative opportunity. The challenge of survival becomes a foundation for entirely new mythologies. One of the earliest attempts to grapple with the far future in literature is Olaf Stapledon's Last and the First Men. It tells the story of 18 successive human species spread across 2 billion years of history, from modern man to telepathic descendants living on Neptune. He wasn't just writing pulp fiction, he was crafting epics, exploring evolution, extinction, war, utopia, and the impermanence of everything. He essentially invented deep time worldbuilding as a literary technique. Fast forward to today, and one of the most expansive far future universes is Warhammer 40K, a sprawling dark sci-fi setting where humanity is spread across the galaxy in a grim endless war. It imagines a future where the line between man and machine is dangerously thin, and where human civilization is locked in a cycle of violence, decay, and fanaticism. In Warhammer, humanity's future is one of both decline and conflict, a galaxy-spanning empire built on fanatic religion, genetic manipulation, and lost knowledge. This universe captures the idea where the far future may not be progress or utopia, but endless struggle and fragmentation. These works are more than just entertainment. They're cosmic thought experiments asking how long can memory last, and what might humanity become when stretched across billions of years. All Tomorrows is a speculative future history and art book by C.M. Cosman that takes us millions of years ahead, far beyond any familiar science fiction timeline. The story begins with humanity spreading out into the stars, colonizing distant planets, and beginning the era of space exploration. But this optimistic future suddenly turns dark when an alien species known as the Q captures humans and subjects them to horrific genetic experimentations. These experiments reshape humanity into dozens of radically different posthuman species, winged beings adapted for flight, grotesque mutants suited for harsh environments, genetic subterranean dwellers, and many others. Each of these species reflects different adaptations and distortions forced by alien manipulation and the harshness of evolving on new strange worlds. When the Q mysteriously vanish, these posthuman species continue to evolve independently. Some fall into wars and extinction while others thrive and diversify. The narrative is both brutal and poetic, exploring themes of survival, identity, and transformation on a cosmic scale. Unlike traditional sci-fi utopias or dystopias, All Tomorrows doesn't shy away from the harsh realities of evolution and cosmic fate. It forces us to ask, what does it mean to be human when the body, mind, and society are transformed beyond all recognition? Once you zoom out far enough, science fiction often starts to look like myth. Two of the most famous sci-fi sagas of the modern era, Dune and Star Wars, aren't just futuristic, they're timeless. Set over 20,000 years into the future, Frank Herbert's Dune is one of the most detailed far future universes ever created, but it's not sleek or high-tech in a way that we often imagine the future. There are no artificial intelligences, no computers as we know them. That's because in the Dune universe, humanity has already fought and destroyed its machine overlords during the Butlerian Jihad. The war fought thousands of years before the events of the story. What remains is a society that is highly advanced but deeply ritualistic. Travel between stars is possible but requires spice-fueled navigators who mutate their minds to bend space. Empires rise and fall based on prophecy, bloodlines, and myth, and the desert Arrakis becomes a stage for a spiritual and political struggle that feels as ancient as it is futuristic. In Dune, the long future isn't about progress, it's about survival through memory, genetic memory, religious memory, and ecological memory. When memory is power, myth becomes the most valuable technology of all. By contrast, Star Wars is famously not set in the future at all, in a long time ago, a galaxy far, far away. This one sentence reframes everything. Despite laser swords and starships, Star Wars feels closer to mythic storytelling than hard science fiction. It draws on Joseph Campbell's monomyth, the hero's journey, and blends it with visual language of westerns, samurai films, and World War II dogfights. Technological advancement isn't the point. In fact, most characters treat it with indifference. No one knows how the hyperdrive works, only that it does. The force and metaphysical energy binding all life is seen not as science but faith. And most importantly, Star Wars depicts a galaxy that has gotten stagnant. The Republic is ancient, the Jedi are ancient, even the Empire in its cruelty feels inevitable, a cycle repeating itself. Both Star Wars and Dune imagine futures shaped by collapse, not creation. The technology is old, the institutions are crumbling. There's a sense that everything important has already happened, and the characters we follow are living in the ruins of forgotten greatness. In both worlds, knowledge is fragmented, often religious, and deeply personal. This is a key theme of deep future fiction. Not that humanity will advance forever, but that we'll forget, rebuild, and forget again. That future will not be defined by clarity, but by mystery. If All Tomorrow shows us a terrifying and alien humanity, John Boyle's 17,776 offers the complete opposite. A weird, funny, strange, or tender vision of the far future where nothing ends. The premise is deceptively simple. Humans are immortal, the world is peaceful, and civilization is stabilized. With no death, scarcity, and no need for struggle to survival, what do people do? They play football forever. But not football as we know it. In this sprawling hypertext story, football becomes something cosmic. Games lasting thousands of years, fields spanning entire states, rules stretched into the abstract. Satellites orbiting Earth, sentient satellites by the way, watch the games and chat like sports commentators. It imagines not extinction but endlessness, a human race that doesn't wither or transcend but just keeps going, keeps playing, keeps inventing games because meaning, even in a deathless future, has to be made. If deep time fiction usually terrifies us with decay, Boys instead unsettles us with permanence. What happens if there's no death, no finale, no apocalypse? The answer is surprisingly moving. We find joy in small things, we keep playing the game. We don't write these stories because we expect to live for 1 billion years. We write them because they help us understand what matters right now. Imagining the far future gives us a mirror, a way to test our values, dreams, and fears. It's the literary version of stress testing civilization. What happens if we keep going? What breaks? What survives? It's no coincidence that some of the most popular far future stories focus not on humans individually, but on civilizations. That's why the human obsession for imagining the far future will never end, even 1 billion years from now. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment for more videos like this.